to Viewer Discretion, a TV and entertainment podcast hosted by myself and David Dennis Jr. This is our last podcast of 2025.
Boom, boom.
So we have decided to pick our top 5 television shows of 2025. We're going to do that at the end. Today, now that we are done with Pluribus, we are here to discuss episodes 2 and 3 of Fallout. We didn't get to episode 2 last week. I'm glad we're doing both, David.
Yeah.
Because episode 2 was kind of like, for me, it was a little bit of a lull. And then episode 3, it picked up again. So I feel like there's more to talk about now.
Yeah. I'm glad we did that as well. Because I found myself having to had to go back and rewatch episode 2. Because I was like, I feel like nothing kind of happened. We're kind of treading water a little bit. So I'm glad we kind of put a couple, like Pluribus, I felt like there was so much to talk about with each episode.
Yeah.
That it was better that we did that. But this one, taking a little chunk is a little better.
Especially so a lot does happen. We get a lot of backstory. We learn a lot about the lore. I think they've added to the lore of the games with these episodes. I'm gonna, instead of just going sequentially, I'm gonna talk about them sort of. The plot lines haven't really intersected yet, so we're gonna talk about the different characters' arcs. Like Maximus and Lucy still have not run into each other. Lucy and the Gull have not found Hank. Yeah. So everybody's still kind of on their separate paths, and I feel like we're getting to know a little bit more about these characters, particularly Maximus, because episode 2, so he's not in episode 1 at all. We talked about how we expected to see him in episode 2. He was most of episode 2 is him, and we start with his childhood, his upbringing. We see Shady Sands, which was the capital of the New California Republic, which we know was bombed by Hank. We see Maximus as a boy. We see his mom and dad. Everything looks very idyllic. You recognized the dad. I recognize him, but what did you think of, like, Shady Sands? Because it was short, but we got a good glimpse of it.
Apologies to the heft of the scene here, because all I saw was Officer Goodnight from Southside, who is one of the funniest characters in all of television. If you have not seen Southside, you have to at least just watch a few of the episodes. It's one of the funniest shows I've ever seen. So the actor whose name, I don't know if I'm Bashir Salahuddin, I think is his name, he's a great actor. He does a lot of different things. He was in it, I think, like one of the top, like the Top Gun remake, I believe, stuff like that. Like he does a lot of stuff now. And it was good. It was a great, thing, but I just couldn't get myself out of the fact that I was waiting for him to crack jokes. But what to me stood out about this scene was the fact that we kind of did the Superman origin story again, right? Yeah. Like Watchmen did it. Famously, I don't know if you hear the dogs behind me, but I'm at my dad's. There's dogs.
That's okay. There's one podcast where it's okay to have a dog barking in the background.
Okay, there we go. We're good. So there, in spite of my anti-dog takes that have that I've let slip this past year. Yeah. So Superman, they kind of redo the Superman origin story again. Watchmen did in the first episode. It felt like, to me, a direct callback where you have him being sent off to where there's an Armageddon. And so it kind of reframes how we look at Maximus as the hero, or what kind of hero is he, or the protagonist, or the Superman of the Fallout series. It seems like an intentional decision for them to do that.
I agree. So there's 3 main characters in Fallout, right? Lucy, the Gull, and Gull. I struggle with that word. And Maximus. And Maximus, it's not the actor's fault, although, I said to you, I did feel like at the end, spoiler, when Kumail shows up, he kind of overtakes him, which is with his charisma. But it's not his fault. He was the least compelling to me in season 1. And I just think that the character, he's supposed to be like a little bit of a goober. He's not, this is intentional. He's not. And in season, when we come out of the flashback, we see now he is that bad. He's the right-hand man of leader of the Brotherhood and whatnot. But I think getting his origin story is important, because we see, you're right, like what the innate goodness in him comes from. Yeah. Both, I would argue all 3 of the main characters are inherently like good people, which is interesting, right? The show is not very ambiguous about that, and we'll get to the goal and stuff. Obviously, Lucy is, but we see, your parents were wonderful people. You grew up in like idyllic circumstances, and by the way, amidst all of the warring factions and that's obviously the tagline of the games, humans can be good. Humans can come together and make this beautiful society. We get a glimpse of it and then Hank blows it all up.
Yeah.
With one of his I don't know if there's a name for that, but the little brain control things where it's actually really creepy. He programmed some human to like drive a bomb into Shady Sands, and then Maximus, like you said, Maximus' parents, Superman, they died to save him.
Yeah,
it's emotional.
It is emotional. It got to me. It got to me for a few reasons. The statement of "we were so close" kind of like hits really hard about so many different things about like societally, like where you feel like you're close to, something good and it ends. And as a parent, I mean, like I don't know, like I don't know how it hit for you as a parent. Like I've been thinking a lot about in my writing things about parenting and about like leaving your kid, like what happens when you die essentially, or like you leave your kids and like the work, you don't know what the world, it's terrifying. And like to me it is the most terrifying prospect in the world to me right now is like when you're not there to be there for your kids, and you just kind of got to like trust that it's there, and to be in their circumstance where it's like 10 seconds away and your kids are going to survive in this like apocalypse. You had a perfect world and you have no clue what's next. That is probably the most sort of terrifying way to go, I think.
Yeah. They tell him, they know it's over. They basically they tell him you're going to be a good man.
Yeah.
And then he does become a good man. And it's an interesting contrast because right after that, we see the scene of Hank reading to Lucy, who has no idea that her dad just did an unbelievably thing. And it's an interesting contrast because, it's like having both of those storylines side by side shows you parenting isn't always destiny. Children ended up being good people. But, I think it's important, and it definitely, I would say, creates different stakes for Maximus as a character.
Yeah.
Who then we come out and like I said, we the immediate next cut is him wearing one of those suits, the Brotherhood suits, just killing ghouls. And he looks like a bad, right? Like they do the thing when they're in the suits where they shoot them like his only, and he looks like cold and
emotionless. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was because we didn't know where things left off with him. And what was your feeling watching him and seeing that he's like, he comes back to the Brotherhood and was like, "Oh, hail Knight Maximus." His stock has risen in the world of
right. Yeah, and to your point about our good friend Jonathan Miners, like he has to,
it's a nickname for the actor.
Yes, he has to like carry. Now he has to carry this thing emotionally as an actor, and it's a lot. It's a lot to ask, and I think that it's uneven from a performance perspective. But there's moments where he is this bad with like this deep sadness and also sort of this deep shame over the fact that he did not actually kill
Moldaver.
And he's sort of playing all of these layered roles at once. I thought this was a good way to introduce it back into season 2.
Yeah, he's now okay. So he's now the right hand man of Quintus, who it's very obvious is a bad dude, right? Like in Fallout, it's interesting because coming off of the discussion about Pluribus, there is some ambiguity, I would say, with institutions. Like it's when you watch the show, it's not clear if any of the factions or institutions are worth rooting for.
Right.
Like none of them are.
Yeah.
Humans in groups. Maybe the New California Republic, who we barely see, we'll get to that. But for the most part, like the Brotherhood, the Vault Tech people, obviously the Ghouls, like the Legions, who are very evil. They're all bad, but there's good individuals.
Yeah.
And, so we see him. He's now part of he's risen up in the Brotherhood. We see like their headquarters. They're like at Area 51. There's some funny scenes where the one where they open it and an alien falls out and they all go, Icebox. Very Fallout. We see Maximus interacting with his squire in a way that's very different from how he was treated. It's kind of like a lovely little scene where he basically explains to him why he like washes his soap. And I was like, oh, he's still in there.
Yeah.
And then we see that scene and David, I was like, okay, he's still our guy. We still like him.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that about the individual versus institutions, which is a great point, because it's also throughout the show, the further the people get from the institutions, the better they are as people, right?
Yeah.
And Maximus, we see the further he is from the group, he's out of his suit, he is himself. Like, those are the real moments where you really see him as a good person. Up until, of course, again, spoiler, up until the last scene where he converges the two in a suit and decides to be a good person.
Yeah. He still has that friend. I believe their name is Dane. I remember the other squire whose job he took basically because of and the friend is kind of the conscience in, because Quintus makes it very clear that like now he's got this device and they've got the key to like the fusion and the power and whatever, and they're going to break with the Commonwealth. It's another faction, which we don't know about yet, or we haven't been introduced to yet. And Dane is like, we're going to war. This is war. Like, people will die. And they're very disappointed that Maximus is still pretty much aligned with Quintus, who then invites all the other different factions of the Brotherhood, and basically makes it clear to them what, his intentions are, which is to start a war, to break off, or he wants the Brotherhood to be in power. There's a moment that I think he embarrasses him, which is notable, where they talk about, because the Brotherhood, the other factions are very like unclear. Well, actually, sorry, before we get to the moment where he embarrasses him, there is a scene where they're doing like rock'em sock'em robots when all the Brotherhood people are there and they're kind of fighting, and some dude from another faction shows up, offers to fight Maximus, or wants to challenges Maximus to fight, and not in the suits, and Maximus has to kill him, which is, there's a little bit of pull and push. Like, is he good? It's not that there's nothing wrong with him doing that. He had to save his life. It is a moment of like, oh, okay, where, he has changed from season 1 a lot. And then the Commonwealth, Kumail, who represents this guy, shows up. I guess what I want to ask you is like, kind of like, watching all of this, did any part of you think that Maximus wasn't going to break off from the Brotherhood? Or
no, I never felt like he was all the way bought in. I like this. This still feels like, well, part of him is longing for his love lost.
Who's mentioned, and he says,
right, yeah. So there's part of him that's getting that pull, and there's part of him that just feels like he's just not. Again, like when when you're in these institutions. And I think that is like everybody's in the institution and they're more miserable when they're there, right? Like they're like inside of themselves. Maybe not miserable, because some of them are like Hank is delusionally happy about being there, but like they're just so not themselves. And I think that like they're like he's just waiting for something to free him from that. I think so. I never really thought that he was going to sort of blindly leave. Even him. What did you make of the scene? Like, what did you make of him offering to like kill this dude?
So I had a little bit because the fight happens before that. So the Xander, Camille's character, shows up. He's like, "Hey, we're on to you," basically. And he has a very different vibe from. He kind of has a corporate. He seems like slicker. And like you can tell he's just been living in better circumstances. He doesn't have that like desert Mad Max feel of them.
Right.
And he alludes to it. He's like back in the Commonwealth, back on the East Coast. So there's a whole other world, right? Another part of Fallout that we haven't seen. But he shows up, and the Brotherhood, after Quintus does manage to convince them to revolt, then they're like, nah, we actually don't want this smoke. Maximus is like, why don't I just kill him? And Quintus, and what I believe is like a pretty significant miscalculation, like embarrasses him and says, "Behold the dimness of the sword." I think it set the table for Maximus, obviously, by the end of the episode, splitting off from him. The guy, like because in the previous episode he calls him his son. There's like you can tell that, not to be like too like lost his dad, but there's a little bit of like, oh cool, I've got a father figure, and then immediately he embarrasses him. Quintus, to me too, like, we talked about how Hank is like the corporate toady. Quintus is a great archetype, which is the guy who uses religious zealotry just to advance personal interests and power. And I think that's there's never been any ambiguity about whether he's a good guy or a bad guy. He's clearly bad.
Yeah, which is why I love the scene where he goes into this myth about all this. And the one woman is just like, that does nothing for me. And then, and he has nothing. After that, he just kind of has nothing to like, no solution, no anything. Was once that falls apart, you have no actual rhetorical like weapons to use after that.
At the beginning, before that scene, there's a kind of a cold open of episode 2 that I actually really loved, where we see Thaddeus, who is Maximus Esquire from the previous season, who then gets turned into a ghoul at the end, and Maximus and Lucy help him basically escape. And we don't. Right. So we see him again at the beginning of episode 2. Now he's a full-on ghoul. His face is,
episode 3.
Episode 3, yeah. And he's running like a factory for kids, half of whom at least are ghouls.
Right.
Which I gotta say, the ghoul kids always break my heart.
Yeah.
It's hard to see, but he does have a great line because he seems like genuinely like kind of good. Fallout, it's hard to be good, but he's like pretty unobjectionable. He's clearly like not hurting these kids. He doesn't say about them doing their work. What do we always say? Most kids are dead by this age. So, anyways, we see that at the beginning. We're gonna, but it's important to see in the beginning. All right, so after Maximus gets embarrassed by Quintus, Xander pounces because he's clever and says, hey, man, like where I'm from, guys like us do the... Yeah. And he gets him to get in a plane with him and go search out robots to kill.
My man is like the Fallout is kind of does a little stunt casting a lot of times, different guest actors, and we could power rank the guest actors. He's like batting 1,000.
It's great casting.
Yeah. He's just incredible here.
He, and also he's not wrong.
Yeah.
When he says like, hey, you guys don't really want to go to war. Let's stop this. Okay, before we get to the end, where we get the end of this arc, we'll get to Lucy after this. Did any part of you think though that Chameleon might be like, I don't want to say a good guy, but less immediately exposed as a bad guy?
Yeah, a little bit. Like I thought that there would be sort of a long game here, and I also thought Maximus would kind of like fall for it a little bit longer than he did, and I thought that would be more of a conflict, but that kind of we didn't get a full episode of it.
No, he gets exposed pretty quickly.
Yeah,
and that's the other thing I would say. Like it was kind of shocking to me how it ended because the casting, he's a pretty big actor.
Yeah.
Shows up. I'm thinking multi-episode.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Fallout, you never know. People don't die when they seem to die, but he seems pretty dead.
He seems very dead.
It's great. So they put on their robot suits, and he has like this like flamethrower spear thing, which is like, little Chekhov's gun. And they play like a version of the Star Spangled Banner while they're killing horrific ghouls. And then, which Maximus was doing at the beginning, right? Of episode 2. And then they show up at the factory, and we've seen the factory, and we see a little baby ghoul, and Xander is like, that's a baby abomination.
Yeah.
He tells the kids to split up into smooth skins and wrinkled skins. It's very clearly supposed to, represent a lot of things. And then Thaddeus shows up, and Maximus recognizes him. They recognize each other. Maximus tries to get Xander not to kill the kids. He says the codex is very clear on it. Kills him with the blowtorch. Then he's like, hey, man. I always love the little Fallout, they always have moments of levity in real seriousness. Okay. Full stop here. Again, I was surprised they killed him right away.
Yeah.
Were you surprised at all that Maximus did the right thing immediately here?
I felt like it wasn't immediate. I felt like it took him a little bit longer. I felt like it took him a little too long, actually. He was trying to convince him. He spent a while trying to convince him. It felt like in the scene, right? As it happened, there was a lot of don't do this. You don't have to do this. Before he went and did it. I thought that conflict lasted actually a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be for him to stop him from doing it.
Which I think is probably appropriate.
Yeah.
What we've seen from him, because again, he starts off these 2 episodes killing ghouls.
Yeah.
And he continues to. And I guess that it does raise an interesting question, which is what is the difference between a ghoul kid and a cult?
Yeah.
Is it okay? Because when they show him killing them in the beginning, I'm like, yeah, kill him. They're just awful. Yeah. But then you see the cute little
stomping on his head and stuff. Yeah.
Oh. And it's the kids are going to become that, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Yeah, it's it's back to our existential pluribus questions that we keep asking. At what age of murdering zombies is it okay? We don't. When we watch zombie movies, we don't see a lot of kid zombies. And what do you
point?
Yeah, we don't see in Walking Dead. There's not a lot of kid zombies, and there's not a lot of sort of that ambiguity that you have. But here you have distinctly kid with kid, affectation ghouls, right? And so you feel different about it.
Yeah, you do feel different. They make them really cute too.
Yeah.
Part of
It's like Santa's little workshop or something, but written by Upton Sinclair. So you're just they're in a sweatshop doing their thing. So,
but what if they were ghoul teens?
Right? Yeah.
Maximus, I don't know. Anyways, I think the net effect of the storyline is pretty clear, which is he's still a good dude. He is. Yeah. We see his origin story. We see why he's a good person. And we see that despite the temptation of power and being the sword of this institution, he will do the right thing because this is about to set in motion an absolute bleep storm.
Yeah, yes. A war, East Coast, West Coast war that they hadn't seen on Earth in 315 years by the time this happened. So,
all right. So put a pin in that, Lucy. So, like I said, the second episode, this is the plot line with her and the ghoul in the second episode. I was kind of like, oh. I
was like, we've seen this before.
We've seen this.
Yeah, we've seen this. They're doing the same.
She wants to help people. I found her very annoying, by the way.
Yeah.
You have to go into the hospital and help people. Really? We get some not aliens, sorry. We get a scorpion attack.
Mm-hmm.
The CGI is good. Actions are good. It's very video gamey. She sees a woman in a tunic. She just decides to help her instead of the ghoul. I found that annoying too. I just did.
Same.
I found her annoying.
Same. Especially, I've actually found her to be, so far, the least compelling thing. I was really kind of into her in season 1. I thought there was a lot going on. The character arc seemed to be really rewarding. We were going somewhere, and it feels like we have regressed back to the same thing, which is a little disappointing. And it's not she's doing the same annoying things that she did in season 1 without any sort of compromise or any sort of and I guess that's part of it is that she has her faith and her goodness is always going to prevail, but at some point, you got to think she's got to start thinking of some other things that are going to work out.
Yeah, even it's a little bit more believable that she would be conflicted about killing and hunting down her own father, right? She's just that conflict. I find believable. The conflict of moving around in this world and acting like the world isn't what it is. At this point, you've been out here long enough to not think you can. It strikes me as a little bit still naive, excessively so.
Is she worst hang? Would it be her or Carol? Who is our from Pluribus? Who is our worst hang here?
If I'm in an apocalyptic situation, I'd rather be with Carol. Although Lucy's kind of a bad fighter, which is
which is necessary and needed, and those things.
She abandons the goal. She decides to help this woman who she doesn't know. She has no idea what her deal is. She says the golden rules for people to the goal, which is a little bit of an interesting comment. She says, I'm going to give you time to think about the consequences of your actions. Okay. So the second she leaves with this woman, the woman starts acting kind of weird.
Yeah.
And it becomes obvious that that Lucy doesn't know what she's about to get into, which is she is abducted by something called the Legion, Caesar Legion, which is from Fallout New Vegas. So I looked this up because I wanted to see if the video game was a little bit different from the show.
Yeah.
It was under the banner of Caesar, who was a murderous dictator in the kind of Southwest. But what's different is they kidnap her, they kill the woman immediately, which is very funny, by the way.
Yeah.
It becomes it's not one autonomous dictatorship. It's a group that's been split into rival factions. There's 2 Caesars. Macaulay Culkin is another interesting bit of little stunt casting. The one that she interacts, they call him Kaiser. Sorry, instead of Caesar.
Yeah, they call. I thought that was out of the 2 episodes, that was a hilarious part where she was like, you're pronouncing Caesar wrong. And I don't think you understand that you're pronouncing it wrong, which is like, I'm watching this as I like scroll. I've seen things on the timeline. Like there's been so much like pride in not reading.
Oh, okay. I think you're something else. Okay.
Okay. I don't know.
No. I was gonna say, when I'm on social media now, I see so much, especially on Twitter, X, like of a certain political persuasion, and also just like guys who like are like Andrew Tate type guys, whatever. They love like old Roman culture.
Yeah.
You know, isn't that like, it's all like guys with like weird, like a you know, more who's the guy who wrote the book that everyone's obsessed, that all those guys love, about Stoicism. Anyways, they all have like they love Roman stuff.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that watching this, which is like, of course, a bunch of murderous dudes would be like, we're the new Caesars.
Because also that meme that went around like a year or so ago that was like, dudes like dig into the Roman Empire.
Hey,
I'm like, nope. That's nope. That is a very specific type of thing that I don't know anybody who did that or does that or fantasized about that or obsessed over it in that way. And this was very cosplay in the same way of these are losers who cosplay with all the fatigues and the guns, and I'm gonna go take
like
back
football uniform. I think this is from the video game too.
Yeah.
Like, little Caesar outfits are, and it's not cool. It's similar to talking about how Hank was like making fun of the idea of like corporate billionaire, whatever.
Yeah.
This is making fun of, I think, like a certain form of masculine, like desire, like a nostalgia.
Yes, it's always
like
this.
Era. Most of y'all would have been dead. Like
yes, it's always this nostalgia for like a world in which you would not survive. It's a world in which you would not survive, and B, a world that's just basically dudes murdering like anybody who doesn't look like them, murdering women. Or it's like there's a bunch of pillaging going on. Bring me back to that time, and I want to live in it, even though I did not actually read anything about it because I cannot pronounce Caesar. Like that's, like that.
The show is great. They're doing this. It's a joke. They're making fun of it. Yes.
Yeah.
Like mispronunciation from the jump is very funny.
Yeah.
And Lucy has some funny lines too when she's talking to. It's interesting because Macaulay Culkin doesn't really play his character as super evil. I thought,
right.
Which makes me think we might see him again. I don't know. It's kind of interesting, but she offers to, when she finds out that they're at war, she offers to counsel. She's like, I've done family counseling or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she says, as someone who's seen upwards of 15 movies, if you think everyone else is a bad guy, chances are you're the bad guy, which is great line. Yeah.
This was her best. This is her best moment in the season. This to me was the best satire that they had done in the season so far, because I think some of the beats are kind of like getting a little repetitive, but this one felt like like something new that they were doing that really spoke to where we are,
Well, it leads to, so I actually think a pretty interesting storyline with the ghoul and because with Maximus, I think we always knew he was going to do the right thing and like whatever. The ghoul, we don't really know. Like he's the more compelling character because he's less predictable. Obviously, Walton Goggins is like amazing and the performance is amazing. So after he gets abandoned by Lucy, him and his dog, we get some flashbacks that are pretty important.
Yeah.
So we see, last we left off with the flashbacks, he was told by Moldaver to basically spy on his wife so that he could figure out what Robert House was up to. He's got this friend from the war, Charlie Whiteman, and he goes to an event where he's being like celebrated. This scene I loved, by the way. It's like very bureaucratic, sad congressman and woman who's like clearly on the right side of things, but no longer, it felt very like spot.
Yeah, just on the right side lacks the charisma and delivery that is important in political theater.
Yeah. And while he's there, he goes to the bathroom and House is there.
Yeah.
In the bathroom.
Creepily there.
Asking him if he's a pinko. It's so which is interesting because it means that he might be onto him. We don't know. So we get that flashback. Goal, he escapes the scorpions. He manages to, get out of there with the dog, and he finds Lucy very quickly, and he sees her on the cross. And he says to the dog, "I don't like her either, but we're gonna need her." Which, and we see him. I didn't quite understand like everything that was happening, quite frankly, in this moment, like because he runs into, this is a character from the video games, Victor the Securitron, and he finds out that the New California Republic, which is one of the factions that set up shady stands, as best we told up to this point, we are, as viewers, separate from the game, believe these are the good guys. They seem to be good guys. And Victor basically tells them where they are, and it's two people.
Yeah, right.
So the big revelation here is that the good guys don't exist anymore.
Yes.
That was my takeaway.
Yeah.
Which is, I think this is, as I understand, this is a little bit advancing what was but
yeah.
It's important, though, that he meets them, because they ask for his help.
Yes. And the people and they're convinced also that they have they got this thing, they got it together, they got it locked down, and it's not the case at all.
They give him, I think, a stim pack. They're clearly the good guys. They don't see the good guys in this world. Yeah. But it is important that we see him, because the next sequence, I think, is quite important. So we go back to the flashback, and he's talking to Charlie, and they talk about how Charlie was there to win this like Medal of Honor type award, and they talk about how Walton Goggins' character Cooper, the human version, basically saved his life, and White Charlie has some pretty compelling quotes about like war, and he says they gave it to me for saving a man, not killing the three people. Yeah, it's a little lighter. 3 people it took to do it, and he talks about, is it worth doing something bad to protect the one you love? So we flash forward. The Ghoul has left the NCR. He goes up to the Legion to basically save Lucy, right? And he tells them, how would you like, because he has to offer them something to leave with her. How would you like to kill the remnants of the New California Republic? Okay, stop. What did you think was going to happen here?
I had faith in him. I had faith. I had faith. I did have faith that I think once he said that, I kind of felt like nobody's good. Yeah, they're not going to make it to. Maybe I've like leaned into some sort of my own idealism while watching this, because when they were talking about like doing a bad thing to save people, I think his wife is like, I'm still beating the drum of the wife is
he's still looking for a reason,
right? Yes, I'm still on the belief that there was some goodness, because she was packing the stuff earlier. She's crying. Like, there was some emotional stuff there that we did not see in that meeting. I am team wife here. But that's what that made me think about is that there was something that she was doing to maybe save the kids, save her family, something like that. And all of this.
I truly didn't know.
Yeah.
I thought this could go either way. Because he is a really, like, if you had told me afterwards, and I think this is why, like, the kind of going back and forth with the flashback, it did help set up the ambiguity of the decision, because he doesn't owe those people,
right.
And, I mean, Fallout is a one every man for himself kind of world. We don't know who the good guys are. We don't know who's worth saving. We don't know what's worth saving. We certainly don't know the allegiances and motivation. Well, we do, but we don't know.
Well, and also in the previous scene, the robot says, like, hey, you had something to do with this also. There's a lot of backstory between the flashbacks and now too, with the Ghoul who's been alive full time that you're right, we don't know. So like I don't know if he. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
I truly didn't know. I thought it was entirely possible that he would have given them up to save Lucy. And to go back to the quote, like, is it worth doing a bad thing to save someone?
Yeah.
I thought, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, would you have, like, if he had, let's say he had given them up, there's two people, it's 2 people. Would you have really changed your view of the character based on that?
No, I mean, I think that's him, like that's kind of what he did. I would have been like, well, I would have been sort of like, oh, that's a reminder of who he is, right? If he had actually done that. So So no, it wouldn't have been, and it wouldn't have changed. I wouldn't have thought less of him because like that's just kind of who he is. I just kind of felt like he was just gonna. I just felt like he had a plan, you know.
Yeah. Well, he does not give them up.
Yeah.
He sets off a bomb, which is actually kind of genius because you hear gunshots, they immediately assume the two factions, the two Caesars assume that each other launched the attack.
Yeah.
So it is in the parallel with Maximus is, I think, a good one and a necessary one because, you know, he is making the decision to do the right thing, to do the good thing, to save innocence. That's going to result in a lot of people dead. Yeah. However, those aren't good people.
Those are the worst people.
Yeah. Like, do we really care if the Brotherhood and the Commonwealth blow?
Yeah.
Do we really care if two Caesars, the Legion, blow each other up? These are kind of like, that's the odd moral calculus of Fallout, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
No?
Yeah. And it also speaks that the shows is really nailing this idea of this is just what humans do. Yes. Like we just like even you tear society down, you know, to the slats, right? And you rebuild it up. We're still just going to be fighting over nothing. And we're going to have rebellions and fights and wars and like the famous quote, which, you know, of like World War, I don't know how World War III is going to end, with World War IV be with like sticks or whatever that quote is.
The motto is war never changes.
Right. Yes. 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 Right.
I found myself thinking of Paradise. You know, this podcast is basically reality shows and apocalyptic shows.
Right.
But, you know, like in Paradise, for those who haven't watched it, it's a post-apocalyptic scenario.
Yeah.
Season already happened, you know, sorry. Well, I mean, it's revealed in the first episode, whatever. Don't listen to the next 30 seconds if you want to watch it and you don't want to be spoiled. But what's revealed is it's not actually the environmental event that it is a very terrifying climate change show. That there's like an environmental event that leads to catastrophe, but that's not why the world ended. The world ended because in the wake of that event, countries started bombing each other and fighting for diminished resources, right? And I was thinking about that watching these.
Yeah.
Because in the first season of Fallout, we don't really see the post-apocalyptic. We see like individuals, we see the goals, whatever. We see the Brotherhood, but we don't understand like who they're fighting for. These two episodes are very much like all these people hate each other.
Yeah.
The war never changes, and it's very hard to do the right thing.
Yeah. And ironically, you said we've done reality shows and post-apocalyptic shows. I feel like the most apocalyptic show we did was Love Island in all of this.
War never changes.
Right.
For Love Island.
Right. There in like 200 years, there'll be like, when we've redrawn the maps, it'll be like Nicolandria Island and Huda will own the Northwest, and it will be rival factions over who we side with, and we'll be warring for 100 years.
The conclusions we came to at the end of the show are you could copy paste them on
right
now, which is humans and groups are bad,
right,
and do bad things and bring out the worst in each other,
right.
Fallout's interesting, right? Because like I think, I also found myself thinking about Pluribus, which is also about how like humans in groups don't do good things.
Yeah.
Because the hive mind is not about humans and groups. It's about like what if we just did away with that and put everybody on the same page?
Yeah.
Because hey guys, the way things are, you're killing the planet, you're fighting each other, you're killing all the animals or whatever. And I found myself thinking of like Pluribus is in some ways like the solution to Fallout.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what if we just gave everyone the same brain so that they stopped killing each other?
Yeah. These are all like related in the way that I think that Her is the prequel to Terminator, but that's a whole nother thing. Because even like I think what was so I guess poetic, which is I don't know if it's a word you would use for Fallout, but like the two guys who just keep playing with the grenade. Who we see back and forth, like that's just kind of what we do. Like that's just who we are as a society. We just like toss grenades between each other, and we don't. And it may go off, and it just takes one guy who just shows up and is just like, turn it off. Like don't do that. And you had to tell him twice not to do that. And everybody was so close to dying But half of everybody just did not notice it because two idiots are playing with a bomb that they don't understand. I think like the essential thing about this show is that society just gets stupider with time. And it's really depressing, but it's really true that as we are in this space where reading has become something that is a novel idea, no pun intended, like this is where we're headed. This is just simply where we're headed. Armageddon or not, that like literacy and thinking is going to be at a premium in 200 years.
So that's the end of 2025. But great years. No, it is. It's. But I think what makes the show work so well is it takes the bleakest scenario, the bleakest ideas, the bleakest world, and puts three hopeful people. Yeah. I would argue the Goal is a hopeful person, even though he's the most marginal, and I think that's why it's watchable, right? Like Carol in the world of Fallout, just brutal. Yeah. But like, we find Lucy annoying, but it's important that she's annoying. It's important that Maximus is a good person.
Right.
His face every day. It's important that Cooper decides to not kill the Goal, the California Republic. There's two other plot lines really quickly. They're not very long, but Norm, I actually love this plot line. Norm, who I increasingly am liking a lot.
Yeah.
So he unfreezes all the executives. It's a great scene because they're all very confused. They're all like super corporate toady middle manager
worker bees.
And he figures this out because they're freaking out. They're like, is this Reclamation Day, which is when the Vault Tech takes over. And he says, you're my staff. He convinces them that they have to work together. He gives them a task to find their way out. I thought great development for Norm. Like this not a lot of scenes, but you're really rooting for him because he's smart and he's resourceful and he figures it out in this. I love the way that whole thing played out.
Yeah, me too. And it's also this is hopefulness about like you don't have to be this way. Like he was raised a certain way, and these people come out, and the first thing they want to do is they're given like fake stickers to make themselves feel good about what they're doing, and they just jump right into it because they're all loser worker people, and he envisions. Yes, I'm going to use them for that, but he's also like, I don't want to be these people. Yeah. In a world where so many other folks are like, whether it's religious ideology or Roman Empire or whatever, he's somebody who's like, let's think of something different.
He's kind of becoming a bad himself, right? Yeah. One, he like hid with the fighting and he was like a little dweeb, but he climbs the ladder and leads them out to the Santa Monica Pier. And I'm excited for him to reunite with whether it's Lucy or Max or whatever. I like the character. I'm interested in that. Hank, meanwhile, is in New Vegas at Vault-Tec, experimenting on mice with the little brain controllers. And then he unfreezes an executive. I do like the show takes great pains to show you that the executive is a bad person, but blows him up because the executive saved himself and not his family. But that's really all there is with him. We continue to see that he's still trying to like master these devices, basically. Kind of like what he's been up to.
Yeah, and this actually was the scene that reminded me most of Pluribus because they slow it down and show the mundane work, and like and it's just this dude is delighting in like sort of remedial, just crunching numbers, basically 9 to 5 work. Like he's lasted all of this time and he's back. Just going and doing the same thing, number like it's not number crunching, but just like sort of, just whatever, putting a square peg in a square hole and just going, and that's what he does all day. And he's wearing a suit and all this stuff, like he's just doing this mundane work because that's what actually brings him joy.
It is the alternate, like in post-apocalyptic society, people are trying to kill each other, and then there are people like the worker bees and Hank who are just like, cool, I have a job, I'm going to do my job, keep my, because it doesn't feel like, we know he wants some sort of power, but it doesn't feel like Quintus or the people who are in charge of the Commonwealth or whatever, where he wants to like run the show per se.
It's like he still wants a sticker, like he wants one of those stickers at the end of the day.
He wants his merit too. So that's where we leave things off with all of them. I feel like sooner or later, like these characters have to their effect at some point, especially I think with like particularly Lucy and the Goal. It was, I think the side questy nature of these 2 episodes, like you said, it was a little bit mundane. I thought it was interesting from the goal standpoint. At the end, we see him make that decision. Cool. I don't need to see her and like clash over like whether to help people for another 3 episodes. Like, let's move things along.
Yeah, I'm with you. I will offer some hope. About something that I saw today. I know it was like very doom and gloom. So, wildly unrelated, but still sort of. I took my son and nephew to go see the SpongeBob movie today, which is very important.
Just in time for Best of 2025.
Just in time. Oscars. Let's talk for next year. But there was before the movie, like mini Ninja Turtles movie, like from the new Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah, I've seen the. I saw a trailer for that.
Yeah, so there was like an actual mini movie for it, and the whole crux of it's like Christmas, like they're shopping for Christmas, and there's like corporate AI has made these toy versions of them, and they have to destroy this AI robot. And basically they destroy it by just doing, because they're like, the AI has no originality whatsoever. And so if we do stupid things, it'll mimic us and do a stupid thing and destroy itself. And it ends, spoiler alert for anybody who's going to go see SpongeBob movie, it ends with the Ninja Turtles saying AI sucks. This is a message that we're sending to children. And I'm so happy that we're sending this message to children. It's very important.
If I remember correctly, the animation is very like old school, right?
Yeah.
Turtles, it's very
Yeah. It feels like it's more comic book action. Yeah. So it's kind of the comic book drawn way, and the character, the April O'Neil, is from the comic book, which the losers are mad she's black, but she was black in the comic book, but whatever. So I appreciated that, and I was happy to feed that information directly into young children's brains.
Well, I will not see that, but
it's like, if we're gonna go see Avatar for the Avengers previews, you can go see SpongeBob movie for the Ninja Turtle movie where you learn that AI is bad for you.
All right, so as promised, you and I have picked our top 5 shows of 2025. Can I say this was a stacked field, and somebody asked me my top movies of 2025, and this might be a hot take. I think this was such a better year for television than movies.
Yes.
I had such an easier time coming up with shows that I loved. There were movies I really liked, but a lot felt flawed. And there's movies I haven't seen. I want to see it. I want to see Train Dreams. But TV shows, I was like, damn, there's some good TV shows.
Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff.
I'll go first.
Okay, all right.
I'll just give you my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready?
Okay, all right.
All right. Just outside the top, there was a lot about Alien Earth I liked. Did not make my top 5. We obviously recapped it at length. I also liked The Chair Company, but it's insane. Which is HBO show, Tim Robinson show.
Heard about it. I've heard really good things. Right.
Interesting things you'll ever watch, but it didn't make my top 5 just because of how stacked the top 5 is. All right. At 5, you didn't watch this. The Rehearsal season 2.
Okay. You mentioned it, yeah.
Experimental show where he basically, it's even hard to describe. I did an episode with Pablo on his show about it, but it ends with him flying a plane, which is, it's one of the more strangest, most original, unsettling pieces of television I've ever seen. And one of the episodes is truly one of the funniest things I've ever seen. At 4, we're going The Pit.
Okay, all right. The Pit was right outside of mine, but the Pit was really good. Pit was good.
Pit is like comfort food.
Yeah.
It's such a throwback, like, oh my God, this is how television used to be.
Yes, yeah.
Obviously it is long season, serialized. Actors are great. I thought it touched on some like real life stuff that was really good. I thought it was masterful how they wove all the storylines together, how it was shot and filmed. 3, I'm going Adolescence here.
Okay. All right.
Adolescence, for those who didn't watch, is a 4-part miniseries, Netflix, British series, basically about internet incel culture.
Right. Yeah. It was
really upsetting. You're a parent.
It was a great show that I would never watch again.
It is like one of those things. Too, purely the performances in it are just unreal. The kid, the episode 3 where it's the kid, it's a two-hander, the kid and the psychologist. 3, right? Not 2, I think is when Yeah, 2 is the schools, is one of the best episodes of television I've ever seen. Flat out.
Yeah.
All right. 2, Andor.
Yeah. I'm working my way through it. Working my way. Yeah.
I love Andor. I love it so much. I love the performances. I love everything about it. The only reason it's not number one for me is because I actually like season 1 of Andor. Andor season 2 has like these time jumps, and I thought some of the time jumps were more effective than others. Some of the little you'll get to it, but it's an unbelievably beautifully written and acted show about like themes that are obviously very pertinent to our times. It is, I think, the best thing Star Wars has ever made. Full stop. I want to put it as number one, man.
And Andor, by the way, the only Star Wars thing I've not seen, which is crazy. But
crazy.
Yes.
And the best thing.
Yeah, all right.
It is the best Star Wars thing.
We're gonna make it through.
Okay, so Pluribus, yes. The further I've gotten out from us recapping, I know it's been a week, the more I just can I'm liking it more and more. I loved it, obviously. I think it's one of the most interesting things on television I've seen in a while. I think it is a true piece of art that's about ideas that I'm still grappling with. Yeah. As evidenced by that, we're still bringing it up. I think you and I could talk about Pluribus for like another 20 hours. Yeah. So, and it's obviously, the acting is fantastic as well. Can't wait to watch it again in 10 years. Yes. And you can tell that it's a great show because the takes on threads are the worst things. They're infuriating. Like it's just bad stuff. Social bad internet. I feel like every social media platform talk about these shows like the characters are people. Yeah. And we should be judging the content of the shows based on whether they're good people. And it's like the point. The show we're not supposed to like Carol. Right. It's okay to like a show where you don't like the main character. Like it's okay to have a villain on the show. As a society. Not Mad Men changed that. All right, that's my top 5. In summary, The Rehearsal, Pitt, Adolescence, Andor, Pluribus. What you got? Okay, I have my honorable mention. Alien Earth was also an honorable mention for me. Pitt was right outside for me. Again, Pitt felt, like you said, comfort food, like a throwback. It felt like the rollout to the Clips album because they were just doing doing Rolling Stone interviews and everybody was like, this feels like the old days. They were just like doing regular interviews. That's how the Pitt felt to me. The Mr. Scorsese documentary, I think that came out this year. I don't know. I just saw it this year. Okay. Martin Scorsese doc series was really, really good, really fascinating. You like revisit his movies. So that was cool. Paradise was right outside. Again, very comfort, very This Is Us, very like ABC Scandal type of stuff that you like. Scandal before Scandal, like completely. Right, yeah, peak Scandal. Like you watch it and you just like, I want more of it. Does this make sense all the way? Who cares? Like, do you ever think about plot lines for Scandal and you're like, that didn't happen? I can't believe that happened. Like, I think you know what I think about all the time from Scandal is the guy who was like, he was like a double agent and he cracked the safe by just writing every combination possible, like every night after work. Police character, I think. Yeah, City. There's so many things that happen in the show that were like so bad shit. Anyway, it's crazy. Yeah. Whenever I see an actor from that show, I'm like when I was watching One Battle After Another and the president was great casting, by the way. Yes. As a Scandal. Yeah. Okay, sorry. He will always be the president. He's one of the guys who will always be the president because of Scandal. Okay, so and Alien Earth is outside for me. 5 for me was Forever, which I talked about before. Another show that just felt like a just comfort food throwback. I think a common thread that we have here is we just want things that like in the world to just kind of make us feel good. And Forever just felt good. Yeah. It was it was like teenage like love drama, CW, but better than those shows. The acting is incredible. Wood Harris is just amazing in this. It's just very cute and adorable, and you feel good the whole time. Even like when there's high school kids arguing about stuff, you don't feel like that's just dumb high school kids. Like it's something that feels good. 4, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which was such a good cartoon, like such a good adaptation of Spider-Man. The voice acting was really good. The storyline was good. It wrapped up really well. Again, we'll probably see season 2 in 5 years. We have the same number 3. Adolescence was number 3 for me. For all the reasons that we mentioned, a great show I'll never see again. The dad going into his son's room at the final scene and him crying into the pillow shattered me too much. It like shattered me. It ruined my day. And it's something I think about often. Number 2, Severance. Which okay. I really like Severance. I love season 1 of Severance. I love season 2 of Severance. Mr. Milchick's
drum band, like drumline performance sticks with me forever, partially because he went to Jackson State, and that felt good to see.
Sure,
Shout out to him.
I should disclose here, I didn't watch season 2 of Severance.
Oh, so I thought you just didn't like it, so you did not watch it.
Yeah, so I don't know why we like fell off. I don't know. It was like a timing thing. So not that I don't like it. I just didn't watch season 2.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I thought you because I remember I saw this thing that you were talking about. I think the way like the theories and stuff about it, I thought it was because you had watched it. So you had not seen Severance 2. Did you finish season 1?
Finish season 1. Yeah.
Finish season 1. Okay. Season 2 is really, I think that Severance is a show like Pluribus where, because they really this season dig into the innies and the outies as separate entities, and why do we feel a certain way about one and the other, and it makes you question yourself as an audience, which is really, really good. And number one, we have the same number one of Pluribus. I could not, it is a show that I think the things that it makes you think about are more rewarding than the show itself. I think, like the things that come out of the show are, because there's still a couple of flawed episodes there where it's slow, where it's Carol, and you kind of just want to move on, but you just are thinking about this so much. And I just think we just do not get enough shows where we're just kind of thinking about it a lot. And not just, and it wasn't just thinking about it in the way of what's the Easter egg, what's the hidden meaning,
it's like what
theorizing. It's like, what does this mean? This
right?
Like they're forcing you to think.
What is like the artistic purpose, but also interpret. I went back and forth with someone, I think on Blue Sky, about like, because you and I have talked a lot about AI, and the creator said he didn't write it with AI in mind, and the point I tried to make was like that's what great art does. It has it resonates in ways that maybe the creator never anticipated. Across time, there's so many things like books I read, like 19th century literature, that are resonant now. That in the social media age, I think about like Eve Wharton and Henry James. One thing about Pluribus, we touched on it a little bit, and the further we've gotten out from it, I talked to my friend Eve about this a little bit. I have been thinking more about the environmentalism aspect of it, and how we did talk about a little bit, right? Like, humanity in our current state is basically already dooming ourselves, and how a lot of the things the hive mind did could potentially sacrifice humanity to save the world. We talked about the animals versus humans part, but the more I've gotten further out, I've been thinking about that a little bit. Like,
that's good. Because it's like, is it worth saving humanity? Like, should we be here if we're going to destroy the world? Which is like there was a stretch of a lot of comic book characters and villains where we're just like, y'all are bad for the world, I'm going to destroy all of you guys, and it's like
Thanos.
It's like they kind of got a point,
the Thanos was right.
Right.
My excitement to the hind mind there.
But beyond the shows, the very best thing of pop culture, again, hammering it down, absolute Batman, the comic book. It is my favorite thing in the entire world.
I don't know if it's like the algorithm picking up on us talking about it, but I have seen a few people talking about how much they loved it.
Oh man, it's so good, and it's made me get into all the other ones. The absolute Wonder Woman, absolute Superman, but absolute Batman is just chef's kiss. They just revealed the Joker, who is basically Bruce Wayne. They made the Joker the billionaire with his own Alfred, who is evil, and so now blue collar Batman has to take him down. It is, it's so good.
Some folks asked what we're going to, now that Pluribus is over, we're still going to do Fallout. Traitors. Many people have asked us to talk about Traitors.
Yes, Traitors is there. Charlie has also has demanded it from the beginning.
I'm watching right now as my workout show the previous season, just to get my reps in.
Okay, so you were a TV show in the gym person.
Yeah. Well, it's the stuff that my husband won't watch.
Gotcha. Okay.
Watched Summer I Turned Pretty.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. I just watched battle raps in the gym. Rap battles. They're 45 minutes each. Perfect time to get you in and out the gym. It's amazing.
It is like you and I meet. The Venn diagram of where we meet is this show, which is like reality shows and it's apocalyptic and sci-fi. And then on the outside is our workout shows.
Right.
I'm incredibly gendered. Right. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening. Thank you for all the nice feedback we got for Pluribus, and let us know.
And thank you for a wonderful year of like of like watching the shows. And thank you, Mina. There are weeks of my life where viewer discretion and talking about this stuff is the best thing, or like sometimes the only thing that like we like, we talk about a lot of things. That's our job, to talk about things, and some of them can be not as exciting as just sitting here and goofing off about reality shows or having like really fun conversations about things. So I'm really grateful. The things I'm grateful for in 2025, one of the big things is viewer discretion and Mina and Brian, and the crew,
And Charlie.
Sorry. And Charlie.
No, I feel the same way. I've really enjoyed talking about like real shows too.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do Love Island again.
It made us all worse people.
I'm always like, oh man, I can't wait to talk about Pluribus, and I think back to Love Island, and I was just like, ugh.
It just was, yeah. It was.
That was the vlog. All right, we'll be back.
We turned to ghouls. We were the ghouls at the end of. Also, there was a countdown, I'm sure, because I think Love is Blind. I think next episode comes in February, right around Super Bowl time, right after Super Bowl time. I think it's usually when they do it. So we should be on the horizon of Love is Blind.
We'll be all over that. All right, I'll see you guys in 2026.